Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. A couple weeks ago, I told you that Karen and I were waiting for our first grandson. And I'm happy to tell you that on Sunday, September the 13th, Oak Elijah Lamb came into this world. And we are really excited about that and very happy. He did have a few health issues, some minor things. They kept him in the hospital for a few days. But last Thursday, we finally got to hold him in our arms. And so that's why there was no Thursday Thought last week. But he's doing great now, and we are really thankful for all the prayers and for all the prayers for him and for us. And we're just thankful that we got to spend a few days with them. Some of Jesus' sayings, some of his teachings were things that would make us kind of do a double take, wait, what? Type of a situation, because some of the things that he said were hard to understand or hard to believe that he would ask that of us. Today's verse of the day, which is found in Luke chapter 6, verse 36, is a verse that probably wouldn't make us do that double take. We would probably think that it's okay. And here's what it says. In the New Living Translation, it's put this way: be compassionate just as your Father is compassionate. Now that's pretty nice, isn't it? And most of us would say, yeah, that's a good thing to say. That's a good teaching to be kind to others, to be compassionate towards them, to other people. But the New Living Translation translates it this way: be merciful just as your Father is merciful. Now that gives us a little bit different nuance, doesn't it? Compassionate seems like something kind and nice to do to other people, but being merciful, all of a sudden that means that there's a reason to be merciful, to show mercy, that the other person must have done something where we would want punishment or retribution done. And so that takes on a little bit different of an understanding for us. But especially it does when we read the verses right before them, because sometimes context is everything. Actually, context is always important. And so I want to read what it says just a few verses before this. Well, just the verse before, actually. In verse 35 and 36, it says this: but love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be the sons of the Most High, because he is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Wow. There's that double take. That wait, what? He says that we are to love our enemies. That's not something that's going to come easy to us. That's something that's going to be very hard for us. And I can imagine that the people who heard it in Jesus' day really couldn't understand that. And even today, we have a hard time understanding that, especially when today we have made our enemies people who just disagree with us. So many times now, people that we hate, people that we don't like, people that we want to see something bad happen to, are just people who disagree with us on either a political issue or even on whether or not to wear a mask or not during this COVID thing. People get so excited on both sides of an issue that they cannot see that the other person can be a good person as well. They see them as being an enemy. And so in our world today, we need to understand that as Christians, we shouldn't be looking at people that way. It says that we are to love our enemy, to those who think that we are their enemy. For us, we should see them as somebody to love, as somebody to do good things for, as somebody to even lend money to lend things to, and not to expect anything back. They're not our enemy. They should be our brother, our sister, our friend. And yet, for many of us, it's the other way around. When somebody says something that hurts us, when somebody does something that is wrong, that that causes pain to somebody we love, what we want is punishment. What we want is retribution. What we want is revenge. And yet Jesus says to go the other direction, to love them, to care for them, to do good things for them, to lend them money or to lend them our car or whatever they need. And he says that we do that. When we do that, then we are really the children of the Most High. That's when we show that we are really God's children. When we go the opposite direction, instead of seeking revenge, we are merciful. We provide them with something that they don't expect: love, kindness, forgiveness. And then we're the children of the Most High. And he says we do it because God has shown it to us. He says that we're to be merciful just as our Father is merciful. And we know that's true. God has shown each and every one of us mercy. It says that he is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. And every one of us, everybody who's watching this, you've at some time been ungrateful. You've been ungrateful to God. You've been ungrateful to those who've done things for you. And every one of us has done things that are wrong, things that have hurt God, things that have hurt other people. And so we have been wicked, whether we like to use that word or not.